Welcome to Cruise Kibitz, where we give you all the advice that you didn't ask for. What's up, everybody? Happy New Year! I'm Keke from Team We's Travels, and we have...
I am Cheryl, also known as Sig, the solo cruiser.
And I am Siobhan from Parker's Wanna Go, aka Hey Miss Parker.
Hey! And together we are Cruise Kibitz. It's 2025 and we are back in business. Let's talk cruising, y'all. Did y'all miss us? I missed y'all.
Miss y'all.
Miss y'all.
Absolutely. So, since it's a new year, new things, before we get into new things, we got to talk about some of the old things, right? I think we ought to walk through a little bit of what Cruise Kibitz got into in 2024, because a little birdie told me that between these three ladies on the screen, we sailed every major cruise line in 2020. Give it up for that. Clap it up. Clap it up. So the last time you guys saw us together, we were chatting live about the Icon of the Seas, because we all got on the biggest ship in the world together for the inaugural sailing. Y'all want to chat about that just a little bit?
Yeah, I think we can dive into that.
Yes.
Let's do it. Cheryl, what were your thoughts on sailing Icon? What was it like for you as a solo cruiser?
As a solo cruiser, and I explained in my vlogs, I was a solo cruiser, but for Icon, I was willing not to be officially a solo cruiser. Well, it depends on what people define as solo cruise. So I did have a roommate in a balcony, so that was nice. But she was a solo cruiser as well, so we hardly ever saw each other. But for the Icon of the Seas, I actually loved it. And to me, what's significant about that is that I'm not a Royal Caribbean fan at all. But Icon of the Seas, I would sail that again. Maybe if the price was lower and I can go by myself. But I really enjoyed it. My favorite spots, that was the overlook. And besides the spots outside of Bar 14 and the guest services there, the little, sections that they had with the, the sofas and the cushion chairs where you can overlook the ocean, just listen to the ocean waves and everything. And when we went, when I saw the spot, hardly anybody was out there. But as the cruise went on, more and more people found my spot. And,
the nerve.
Exactly, the nerve. And, we go, but, I was able to find spend some time there. And then the rocking chairs in Central Park. So those were my favorite three locations. The gluten-free options were good for me. I enjoyed the food on the ship. It was a good time. I really enjoyed it. Yes.
Good to know. Miss Charvon, what were your thoughts on Icon?
I was overwhelmed and I was exhausted. We waited for this ship for 2 years, and the excitement of it after we finished paying for it, the excitement of it was just like, it was so much adrenaline. And then when we got on the ship, we just seeing everybody, like all of our friends, and just going through and trying to see all parts of the ship. It was overwhelming. And it really got to the point at some points where I was just like, I need a nap. Like, I can't go on. I am going on and make this trip right. So it was a lot. It's definitely something I feel like we'll have to do again. But like Cheryl said, they got to do something about those prices. Like, I understand but it is super expensive. And yeah, I don't know when we'll get on that ship again.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Royal has been pricing people out. I hate to say it, but we might be in that number, yo. Like, I want to. They're newer ships. Now the good thing about it is you can get deals on some of the not so old ships that came out in the past, 3-4 years or whatever. But these ships that are brand new that are coming out, y'all, these prices, they crazy. Crazy. But yes. I agree. I thought that Icon was an amazing cruise. I especially enjoyed spending time with you all and so many of our friends on board, hanging out at 1400, just having a good time. It really was an amazing ship. But we we all sailed Icon in January. We got on in January. We got off in February. So let's talk a little bit about what everybody got into in February. Charvon, what did you cruise in February?
I recovered from Icon in February. No, I did not cruise.
A good recovery was needed indeed. How about you, Cheryl? Did you cruise anywhere in February?
Not February, but actually, I had a cruise before Icon in January. I kicked off the year. Yeah, I was on Carnival Horizon for like the third time.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that was my first solo group cruise. I had a group of ladies. I think it was about 10 of us. And the Icon, the Carnival Horizon, to me, that's actually one of my favorite, Carnival ships. I don't know. I just like the vibe of the Horizon, even over the Carnival Vista, it's a Vista class ship, but I just like the Horizon much better. And everybody had a good time. And so it was very time. So yeah, I actually had 2 in January. So yeah, I kind of skipped February.
Really good. But you kicked off January in the best of ways with 2 cruises. So we love it. We love it. I did sail in February. We did a mother-son cruise on the MSC Magnifica in February. So it was our first MSC cruise. And y'all, when I say I was nervous, I was nervous. I had heard a lot of things about MSC, and a lot of them were good things, and a lot of them were not so good things. But I have to say, our experience overall on MSC Magnifica was incredible. I enjoyed it. It was a good cruise. My son enjoyed it. The one thing that I was really worried about was, is there going to be enough for a kid to do on this ship? Because I knew it didn't have water slides. I knew it didn't have, a lot of things. We just got off Icon. Like, to get off Icon and then jump to that was kind of like, oh boy, I hope RJ enjoys it. He loved it. They had plenty of things for kids to do, from bowling and arcades and that kind of stuff, which is right up his alley. So it was a good cruise. I enjoyed it. So that was February for us. I guess from there we'll go to March. Anybody sail in March?
Yeah, we actually had our Partner Fam group cruise in March, and we went on the Mariner of the Seas. And we were a small but mighty group. Yeah, we had a great time. We did pre-cruise activities at Universal Studios and did a day there. Then one of what we call our sponsor of the year, Cruise Control Transportation, they took care of us, making sure we got to the port and got back. And we had a great time, except for the last night on the cruise. I think everybody got a bad bout of seasickness. It was just choppy waters. It was choppy waters. It was just it was really, really crazy. So yeah, but outside of that, we had a great time. And Mariner is one of our favorite ships. It was our first Caribbean cruise, and one of our first vlogging cruises. So yeah, we had a great time.
Nice. Look at you, ladies. Congrats on your group cruises in 2024. Love it. All right, so that was March. What about April? Anybody get on the high seas in the month of April? All right, talk about it, friend. Talk about it.
We took my second, Brandon's first bout with NCL, and it could not have been 2 more different sailings for me. So we sailed on the NCL Sky. So not only did we sail on that ship, it was our first repositioning cruise and our first international flight. So we had a couple of firsts on that one. It was a 3-day. We flew to DR and we picked up the NCL Sky. They were repositioning to Miami. And I'm just so confused about NCL. I really don't know if I like it.
Oh, even after 2 cruises, you're still not sure?
The first one, I don't think was really a fair shot because we did the Viva with my mom and my sister, Tiny Cruiser, in December of 2023. And I ended up getting sick on that one. So I couldn't really get a whole true vibe of what the ship really was. So when we went in April, I was just like, okay, this is going to be the true test of if I really like it. I didn't like the food. the vibe of the ship was really not vibing the way it was on the Viva. And I was just like, okay, maybe it's just because it's the type of sailing. It was just so different. So I'm still in a place of, I just don't know if I like it or not.
It sounds like you just got to book another one. Like that's the only solution that I hear in this.
Yeah, if you're undecided.
Yeah, for real. Like we're starting to become a channel of like second and third chances here. So
NCL redemption.
I can at least one more go before I can try if I really like NCL.
There you go. But do we like repositioning cruises, and do we like flying internationally?
Absolutely. I absolutely love that part of it. Just learning, it was a lot of learning curves that we had to make. Just say, for instance, since we flew there and we didn't have a return flight back, we had so many steps that we had to go through with the airline, with the international security. Like we had visas we had to get, and we had to pay re-entry fees to leave the country, and all kind of things. Yeah,
that was crazy.
Right? Like we were here for 24 hours. We got to pay you to leave. It's crazy. Yeah, so it was a lot of learning curves that we made, but looking forward to more international flights in the future.
Nice. We love it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was April. And then May came along, and I mean, May is pretty big because somebody celebrated a birthday in the month of May. And if I recall correctly, we celebrated with you.
Oh my God. So one thing I've always wanted to do is have a grown-up birthday party. Not like, oh, we're going to go out and just like get drunk or anything like that. Like I really wanted to have a grown-up birthday party. I wanted to go somewhere with my friends that like is one of my favorite places in the world and just enjoy myself and act like a big kid and have a good time. And what better place to do that than Disney? So I appreciate you ladies to celebrate my 45th birthday at Disney. We went to Epcot and we drank around the world. Brandon said we did not do it right. Well,
I went in knowing I wasn't going to do it right. So.
Because I am so much of a rider. Like I love to ride stuff. I knew it was going to be just to drink around the world. So, but I'm glad I got to have those experiences with you guys because, you know, it not only gave us time together, but it also let me know where my friendships were. So I appreciate you guys showing up for me and being there for me in that aspect. So I've been wanting to tell you guys that we've been so busy all year.
It wouldn't be Cruise Kibitz if we didn't have a little sappy moment every now and then.
Right. And to bring up, you know, even more sappiness. Oh, our pictures were just so beautiful. I look at them from time to time. The pictures are just beautiful, and it brings back, you know, good memories. So yeah.
Shout out to Yolo who joined us too. It was a really good time hanging out with her as well.
I've been lucky enough to get to know Yolo. We actually met her the first time on Icon. So yes, definitely shout out to her because she has shown up for me in so many ways that I did not expect her to show up. And we've really become good friends. So I appreciate her as well. Yeah.
That was awesome. Also, it was an awesome experience heading to Disney, hanging out with you ladies. Did you guys cruise in May too? I don't remember if anybody got on a ship in May. I know I did. You did?
I did the NCL breakaway.
Okay. What did we think of NCL? Miss, I've cruised 75 Carnival cruises and I'm trying new lines now. What do you think?
I think I'm with Charvon that, you know, I'm going to have to give NCL another try. But first, let me start off with the positives because there were positives. Now, one thing that I wanted to try NCL for was because they're supposed to be number one in the solo cruise experience. So I wanted to go and try that out and, you know, share with everyone and give them my thoughts. And I wholeheartedly agree that it is a great experience. And later on in this conversation, I'll come back to this, but it really is a great experience, you know, with their solo lounge and their solo meetups and just the opportunity for, people who are traveling solo to, if they're that type of person that's looking for somebody to connect with, they have a great solo cruise program for that. Now, to me, that was pretty much my only positive. I just didn't, number one, I didn't care for the darkness of the ship, but it's an older ship, and a lot of the older ships back then had, dark decor or that dark wood, type of. But it just, to me, I don't know, it brings down the mood or something like that. So, if I could help it, I would prefer. But I know that's not something. People don't like this. Let us change unless it's something like a dry dock or something. But their events, I didn't see anything, like spectacular. It just seemed like the same old things from other ships. So I didn't see anything like outstanding about it. Their app was horrendous to work with. Their atrium area, it was just so loud and congested with the guest services area was there. The gluten-free experience was the worst I experienced on any ship, because it's like I had to order everything, 100% of everything in advance, even down to, you go to the buffet to get pizza. No other cruise line has me to order pizza 24 hours in advance. And
really?
then they brought it and it had no cheese. I'm like, how do you have pizza with no cheese? And of course, if I want another one, I got to order it 24 hours in advance. So I have to get a redo tomorrow. So I was like,
Lord, they just decided you gluten-free and dairy-free today. You ain't getting no cheese.
I said gluten. I said nothing about dairy. What?
Y'all doing an amazing job at selling me on Norwegian today.
And
you get the real. You get the real here.
and my I can't, because I gotta keep saying this over and over. And I know people are tired of hearing me about this pet peeve. As soon as I got it, because Norwegian is, everybody says they nickel and dime, and I'm like, I ain't believing that. Before I even got on the ship, I had to pay $15 to bring on my bottle of wine because I did not get the drink package or the free at seat, because I didn't need it. So they made me pay $15 to bring my bottle of wine on, and it's $15 per bottle.
See,
oh my God.
Don't tell me I could bring something, then you're going to charge me to bring it, even though I can
exactly.
Right.
And that's the thing. They call it, the corking fee. But I'm like, first of all, it was a bottle of Prosecco, so I'm gonna pop the top myself. They would never even see it, but just because I bring it, and no matter if they see it or not, doesn't matter if you bring it to the restaurant or not. If you consume it in your room, hey, you brought it on board. That's $15 per bottle. And I was like, okay,
oh my God, that's nuts.
And then to start off the cruise that way, it was like that put a bad taste in my mouth, before I even got on the ship. So
yeah. That would irritate me.
But I'll give them another chance.
Okay. Yeah. Redemption yet again.
I'm gonna have to figure it out. But Keke, one thing I will say is we're sorry, because last year was all about scaring you for MSC, and now we're scaring you for NCL.
right. The lesson is always try it for yourself.
That's what I was just about to say. That's what I was just about to say. Everything's different for everybody, so try it for yourself.
Try it for yourself.
Just because it was the cruise from hell for me doesn't mean that it's going to be the same for you.
Yeah. Man.
It was not the cruise. It was not the cruise from hell. I was just kidding on that. So no, it wasn't that bad.
All right. So the moral of May is avoid NCL. No, I'm just kidding. So we move on to June. Did anybody get on the high seas in June?
No high seas, but I do have to give a shout out. Shay graduated from high school in June.
Oh, yay!
Yay! Go Shay! Go Shay! Empty net.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Cheryl? Anything big happen in June?
Nothing that I can recall at this moment, but upper 50s, who knows? I could have had a, big something and just forgot about it, but yeah.
Girl. Anyway, moving on to July. Right. Let's see. July. I actually celebrated my birthday in July. Yes, big 4-0 milestone birthday. And I did cruise, but it was later in July. But for my birthday, we went to Mall of America. So little land trip. Hopped on a plane. It's really only like an 8-hour drive for us, but they had cheap flights. So we hopped on a plane, went and hung out at, Mall of America, rode some roller coasters, did some shopping, had a little fun, a little something different for us. So it was a good time. I enjoyed myself in Minnesota for a couple of days. It was good.
Great time.
It was a good time. What did you guys get into anything in July?
July, no cruises for me. I'm trying to remember, like, what did I do in July? Especially around the 4th of July, I do not remember. So no.
Somebody sailed for 4th of July, right?
Yeah, we did Margaritaville at Sea Islander for the 4th of July. Yeah, that was interesting. So Brandon tells me I had this grand delusion of what I was expecting, just because I thought it was the 4th of July. In my mind, I went on, there's going to be fireworks and there's going to be this grand party. Brandon was like, first of all, this is not Disney. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I should have known better. But we did sail on the Margaritaville Islander, and it was Brandon and I and 3 young ladies, and we probably tortured him that whole cruise, but we had a great time. We had a good time. I'm not gonna say we had a great time. There were some things that could have been improved on the ship, but one thing I will say is the shows were amazing. Definitely an upgrade from the Paradise. They do have new props and stage equipment now, and they're able to do a little bit more based on what they were doing on the Paradise. The food started off great and quickly declined. By day 4 or 5, we were just like, we're over this. And the cabins were nice. They could have been better, but overall, we had a good time. It wasn't like an amazing or a great experience, but we had a good time. We were on a cruise. We weren't home, so there weren't too
Yeah. It's like, it's almost like we have to be honest about what our experiences are. So sometimes it comes off as complaining, but really it's like you want to be transparent because you don't want people to go on thinking they're going to have this incredible, amazing time when you know that there's potential for things to go wrong. So,
right.
I feel like it's a cruise for, if you just want to hang out and have a good time, if it is like hanging out at the bar, hanging out by the pool, if you want to just visit ports, it's not, if you're going for the food, that's not one thing that you're getting on that ship for. Entertainment, they did really good. They could have done better with some of the activities, but if you just want to hang out on a cruise ship, Margaritaville is definitely for you.
Now, I know you guys both previously did the first Margaritaville Paradise. How would you say it compares to that one?
I actually had more fun on the Paradise than I had on the Islander.
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
man.
Did. I would say, because we did cruise with Cheryl, but also Cheryl is a solo cruiser, so it's not like she was
right.
Say, well, you cruise with somebody. Not necessarily, because she still did her own thing. Like, we would see her. She still did her own thing. We had such a good time, even with like the cabin being the way it was and us having basically having no bathroom the whole cruise and it being a weird setup. I still feel like we had a better time on that ship because I felt like it was more personable. And I felt like entertainment staff just went out of their way to make it a good time.
Yeah.
I felt on the Islander, it was kind of like, we got a glow up ship. And, the ship is going to speak for itself. And that was not necessarily the case. Yeah. Man. So that's hard to do.
Oh, man. Well, it sounds like maybe Margaritaville needs another ship. Keep stepping it up, Margaritaville, so we can, blow up again, so we can try it out one more time.
be doing something right. They won some awards this year, so
I
Oh,
they did win some awards. So hopefully, they are going in the right direction. I heard they do have another ship coming. So
ah,
all right. Good to know. Good to know.
okay.
let's see what they have coming in the future.
All
They need to
right.
put it in Fort Lauderdale so I can try it out. So,
I
I
would
agree.
prefer all the ships in Fort. Honestly, I like going to Fort Lauderdale way more than I like going to Miami or Orlando. I would
uh-huh.
sail out of there a million times over the rest of them if I could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of my reports too.
Yeah. We did cruise in July too. We ended the month of July on the Carnival Firenze for the Meet Night cruise. And this was a special sailing for us because it was our first time trying one of Carnival's Italian themed ships, which I did. I enjoyed the theming of the ship. I didn't think it was like way over the top. There was some questionable art, but other than that, it was a really pretty ship. And it was a new ports for us and a new departure port as well. So we'd never sailed from the West Coast, so we got to get a bit of what the West Coast vibe is, sailing at Long Beach. And then we went to Cabo and Ensenada, both new ports to us. And it was a really good time. We enjoyed like sailing. Group cruises always just have a whole different kind of vibe to them because you got
Yeah.
all your friends on board. That makes a difference in your sailing. So it was fun. I thought that the food on board was hit or miss. Kind of the theme with Carnival for me all the time is the specialty dining tends to be very good and the non-specialty dining is always really hit or miss, whether it's the buffet, the main dining. Specialty is where it's at for me on Carnival. So yeah. But it was a good way to end the month. That was it for my July. August. I did not sail in August. Did you ladies sail in August?
Yes. Am I the only one?
No, I sailed in August too. I
Oh,
was being
Who going first? Double Dutch. Who going first?
We'll let Cheryl go first. I've been speaking for the last few months.
all right. So August was my first solo cruise on Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady. So this was my second cruise on Virgin, but the first time I went with a friend for her birthday. So it was like, I was with a group of people. It was a very different experience traveling solo, on Virgin. Now, here's where I go back to NCL because Virgin, on my sailing, they had a solo meetup as well, and they would do it the first night. But on my sailing, they had meetups throughout the cruise, and the host explained to us or told us that this was very brand new, starting with the sailing that we were on, that they were expanding the solo cruiser program to where they have daily meetups and they meet every day at a certain time, like in the social. What is that? The social? Is it just the social? That social area. I forgot what it's called. They would meet up. Yeah, the social. Okay, that's what it was. The social. So they would meet up there daily, and so whatever restaurants had open tables, like let's say the Wake had 4 spots, or Pink Agave they had 6. They would match people up to where they wanted to go, and you would dine with solo cruisers, at a certain restaurant. So it wasn't like a big group dining all together, but just available spots and connecting with whoever wanted to go to whatever restaurant. Now, I never did the dining with them because I had my own reservations. But it was good. They had coffee meetups. So their solo cruiser program, even though NCL has the best and is the most is well known, I actually enjoyed Virgin's solo meetup a little bit better because the hostess went into, it wasn't all about just everybody getting to know each other. There was that too, but she really got everybody immersed in the ship's programs and doing this or that and giving hints about this or that, telling you what activities to miss, not to miss, and just getting everybody engaged in everything about Virgin. So, and I didn't get that from NCL. So I just enjoyed that cruise a little bit more, and their solo cruiser program a little bit more, and then just being on Virgin, period. Just the whole Virgin vibe. The activities. Now I'm not a big partier, but they did keep me up late at night almost every night, and I tried to do some different things. Because I'm not a big partier, I tried to get a little bit of the party experience, and actually did that more than I did my normal, relaxation and, going to workout stretching classes and things like that. That's what I usually do. So it was a different experience, and I wholeheartedly love it. I recommend it. It's now one of my favorite cruise lines. I don't think I could say enough about it.
Oh, wow.
All right now. This was a little bit of like a redemption cruise for you too, right? From your previous one.
Yes. Well, the first one, now looking back, I think about it because, Virgin is the uncruised. So they do things differently. So I had cruised, these other lines before, cruise Carnival 25 times. So I'm going now, I know it's different, but it's like in the back of your mind, you're still going in. I'm just going in for a cruise. This is what's going to happen. And this is what's going to be where. And I think it was more or less me not understanding Virgin at that time and having to learn Virgin, especially the food. And I also think that the crew that I had, I was on Scarlet Lady, the crew that I had, unfortunately, they just weren't very knowledgeable about gluten-free, which was kind of ironic because they always talk about gluten-free. They know how to ask you, hey, do you have any allergies? Do you have gluten intolerance or anything? So they know to ask. But when you say yes, it's like, oh, she said yes. What did I do? And then, I went to the ice cream place and I'm just trying to, get some ice cream. And, I'm asking, okay, I'm ordering gluten-free. Oh, you're ordering gluten-free. Oh, I asked, well, which ice cream is gluten-free? They all have gluten, all of them. I said, even vanilla usually is always gluten-free. No, vanilla, it has gluten. So it got off to a bad start. It was just a combination of things, but they made it right. I put in my, they asked me for my feedback when I was really hot. So they asked me for my feedback in the app. So I let them have it. I'm like, this happened to this, and I'm having a horrible time. And they actually responded like right away. Stay tuned next week for part 2 of our 2024 year in review.